Okay, this morning we're going to go over the article annotation assignment. So to begin this explanation, I'm going to pull up your syllabus. On your syllabus, if you scroll down to, I believe, the 4th page, on the 4th page you're going to see the complete rubric for the entire assignment. Specifically round 4 is what I'm looking at here. I'm going to try and zoom to get a better view, but my screen doesn't want to behave appropriately. So you'll see the rubric for the AMA citation portion, the summary portion, which includes the purpose, methods, results, and conclusions, and then also the critical evaluation at the bottom. If you scroll back to page 3, up at the top, you're going to see all of your due date, or what's required for each round that's due. So round 1 is a PDF, an article of the article, an AMA citation of the actual article. Round 2 is your summary of your research, which is your purpose, methods, results, and conclusions. And then round 3 is your critical evaluation of it, which I'm going to explain what all 3 of those are. But then for round 4, you're just completing a submission of all 3 components. Rounds 1 through 3 are going to be hard copies, which will be due to me in class. And then round 4 will be an electronic copy that will be submitted on Dropbox on Brightspace D2L. So to get this process started and give you a good explanation of the project, you're basically finding a research article that looks at an actual research study, and you're going to summarize it for me. But when you summarize it, you're going to be summarizing it in your own words. So you're not really citing anything that the author says here, which makes this assignment a little more difficult. The reason I have you do this is I'm trying to have you hone in on your skill of being able to read someone else's work and summarize it without having to utilize what they say. So when you're able to do that, it's because you're actually understanding the research that they are discussing. So the first thing that you need to do is find an actual research article. And some students struggle with this, so I'm going to go through how you log on to the library website and find this article. So to start, we'll go to gsu.edu. Make screen bigger here for you. If you go to the Students tab, go to Library. Now, so this is the main page. So what I want you to do is go by subject, because there's a whole kinesiology and health subject here. That just narrows down the search engines that you'll use. So one important thing with this assignment and in future research is it's really important to have a full text of the article. If you could just go by the abstract, it doesn't really give you a ton of detail. So you want to make sure you have a full text of the article if possible. And for this assignment, you don't need to be doing interlibrary loan, because there are plenty of free full text research articles out there. So on here, it's going to give you a list of all the databases that you can utilize, A through Z. Of course, not every letter has one, but a really good one that I like to use is called Sport Discuss, okay, because it does offer full text. So if you click on S, it'll pop up. So you click on that. We're just going to kind of stick to that, okay, and I'm off campus, so I need to log back in. If you're on campus, you won't have to do that. No. Okay. Oh, sorry. I put the wrong one in. I still don't want you to keep it. Thank you. Okay. Then I'll log in here in 1 second. Okay. So now you can kind of enter any kind of search term that you want. So this is KH 3500, athletic training and conditioning. So that means you can pretty much stick to any topic that we discuss. So my recommendation for you guys is to look for a rehabilitation article, because there's a ton of them out there. They're all full text, and well, the good ones are full text, and it's just going to make it a much easier example for you to use for this assignment. So we can just do, I don't know, we'll do a really broad term and we'll do ankle rehabilitation. Okay, so there's a ton of different things that are going to show up here. Couple of things to look for when you are trying to find a good example for yourself. Now, ankle rehabilitation is a really broad term. You can get super specific with like rotator cuff rehabilitation, rehabilitation after a shoulder dislocation, gait training rehabilitation, spinal injury rehabilitation, or you can get in with like a specific injury. So visual rehab after a concussion. I mean, there's just a ton of different things that you can do, so be really creative. But when you are looking for the article that you want to use, I'm going to highly recommend that you utilize something like this that says a randomized control trial, or something like, even though it doesn't say randomized control trial, you're going to see randomized control trial listed in the description here, okay? Two types of articles that you definitely want to stay away from are systematic review articles, okay? Those aren't, that's like a overview of a lot of different rehab studies, so it's not going to give you the methods, results, and conclusions that you need for this assignment, because their methods are going to be, they did a broad search of different search engines, and it's not an actual methodology for a research study, okay? So do not use a systematic review. And it will say systematic review in the title, or you will see in their methodology that they said they searched a lot of like different search engines like PubMed, Sports Discuss, Cinol Plus, all of those, okay? The other type that I want you to stay away from is called a case study. Let me see if I can find one on this list. I may have to... Okay, so for example, one like this, and I don't even know if I have full text to it here, but you see that it says a case study here. Okay, so again, when you're looking through, especially the abstract of the article, you're just going to have a lot of trouble with finding the different purpose, methods, results, and conclusions, because it's just going to be about one case, so it's not really true methodology of a research study. Okay, so stay away from systematic reviews and case studies. So if we go back, see if I can find a good example here. And you'll notice on some of these they say find at GSU or full text PDF. If you have a full text PDF here, it's guaranteed that you're going to have a full text. But if you see the find it at GSU, you may have to look at an outside journal, but you should have access to it. I don't know if I like any of these, but as far as content-wise, so make sure when you read the actual title of the article, you can maybe pull out a couple of things that you recognize if it's like completely a different language, because it's so many scientific terms that you just have no idea what's going on. I would not recommend using it. Okay, don't just go to the first one that you see a full text PDF of. This one is probably going to be about what we want, and it's full text here. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So here, when you look at the article, you see all of your journal information, okay, journal title, title of the actual article, and then your authors. It'll then give you an abstract, okay? So the first thing you want to do when you're doing this assignment is read this abstract portion, okay? This is not what you're going to do the assignment based off of, but I need you to read this to make sure you understand what's going on in the actual study, okay? So within this abstract, it is going to summarize every aspect of your paper. So it is going to summarize the purpose, it's going to summarize the methodology, it's going to summarize the results, it's going to summarize the author's conclusions. Okay? But you cannot just copy and paste from this section here. Okay, that is plagiarism, so you cannot do that. So if you understand it from the abstract point of view, I want you to go through and I want you to read the entire article. Okay, you cannot summarize it appropriately unless you read every single word in the article. So you go through, it'll give you a little introduction, and then you'll see a subheading for methods. Okay, kind of give you some different methodology for what they looked at. You'll then see a further subheading for results. Okay. And then a further subheading for conclusions later on. I want to make sure I don't miss it. Usually, okay, so they don't give you a subheading for conclusions in this journal, okay? But if you look at the last paragraph, which would be the paragraph here, okay, that is your conclusion paragraph. They just kind of blend it in with the discussion for this actual journal, okay? So a lot of different journals are slightly different. Okay, so this looks like a really good article as far as content is concerned. Again, I don't know exactly what they looked at because I'm not reading it right now, okay? But you want to stick to a type of journal article that is similar to this. You don't have to use this one, but one that's similar to it. So if you have no idea what isokinetic testing, everter and inverter muscles in patients with chronic ankle instability means, that's fine. Maybe pick another area that you're interested in. Okay, so now that you know how to find an article, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up an example of what your finished product will look like, okay? So yours does not have to be as long as this one is. I would recommend that you don't just give me the bare minimum, okay? But you don't have to give me a ton. You know, I don't need you to duplicate the actual journal article here in your paper. So when you turn this in, this is not double spaced, but you can double space your finished product. That's fine. It makes it, for me, it's a lot easier to read if it's double spaced. But you can put your name and everything at the top, and then you're going to put your AMA citation at the top. And then you're going to go through and you're going to give me a brief summary of the purpose, methods, results, and conclusions. That usually takes about 2 paragraphs to get all of that. And then you're finally going to give me a critical evaluation paragraph of the article. So when you're summarizing the actual article, again, it is in your own words. There should not be any citations back to the original article because you are critically annotating it. So that means that you you've read it, you understand it, you can summarize it like you were talking to me if we were sitting across the table from each other, and you're not having to flip back and pull out specific sentences to explain your point, okay? So if you have to read the article 2 or 3 times to be able to do that, then you need to read it 2 or 3 times. You can't just read a section and then write your 3 to 4 sentences to summarize it, okay? When you do that, you're going to plagiarize without even trying because you've just read the material. It's really hard for your brain to reconfigure the sentences into your own thought without, you know, using what the author said, okay? For your critical evaluation portion, this is more your opinion of the article. Was it a good article? How did it advance the field of sports medicine? How did it advance the field of athletic training? What were some things you didn't like about the article? What are maybe some options that would have been helpful for the researchers to look into? So instead of doing like a 2-week program, they could have done a 4-week program, or, you know, a program that was longer, maybe a program that involved this type of exercise versus that type of exercise. It's completely up to you what you want to use. You can use personal tense here, you can use I. It's your opinion, okay? But it needs to be an educated opinion. It can't just be I really like the article. I thought the authors did a great job. The end. Okay, I don't want that. You are a junior or senior in college. You should be able to write a little bit more than that, especially with a scientific mindset. Okay, so you cannot use this article. Okay, if you turn it in, I'm not going to be very happy. So you need to choose something other than this. Okay, because I just gave you an example here. And it'll flag you for plagiarism on D2L because it's already been submitted by another student. So do not use this one here, all right? Now, I'm going to go through some specifics of the actual AMA citation before we finish this. So I've attached kind of a how-to on AMA citation on D2L. So this is a really good example here of how you do AMA citation, because a lot of students do not have much experience with it, because a lot of health sciences fields use APA for their citation example, but in sports medicine we use AMA. So a couple differences for this, and again it gives you everything that you need here. You're going to stick to using this example here. Okay, so it's a journal article that you have in print, so I don't need any of your online URL specifics, okay, because you have a full text of the article, so you already have it in print. And you'll have up to 2 to 6 authors. If you have any more than 6 authors, the way it changes is you give me the first author and then you use et al. Okay, ETAL, because it's just too many people to list, but up to 6 you can list all of them. You'll then give me the actual title of the article, okay? So this is in regular print. The first word is capitalized. After that, nothing is capitalized, okay? You'll then give me the journal, You'll then give me the journal title, okay? So when you give me the journal title, it needs to be abbreviated and italicized. You'll give me the year that it was published in. I don't need the month and the date. I don't need that information. You'll then give me a volume and an issue number. Okay, so this one only has a volume number, but an example of what a volume and an issue number looks like, because a lot of your journals will have this. Okay, this is an example. So if you go down here from journal article from an online library database, just looking at the volume issue example, you'll give me the volume first, and then in parentheses you'll give me the issue number. Okay, you'll follow that with a colon and give me the page numbers. Okay, so just looking at this portion of it. Now, again, I don't need the month, so you're not looking at this because you have a full text of the article, so please do not use this as what you're going to use, because it will be wrong and you will not get credit. Okay, so I'm just utilizing the year, volume, issue, and page number aspect of this example. Okay, but I need you to focus here, okay, because this is what I need you to turn in. Alright, so it's pretty, I'm getting a ton of emails, it's the morning, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is kind of a how-to for your citation style. So I'm going to go ahead and mention this because I know a lot of you are going to do it. So you get back to the Georgia State page, and you're all smart human beings, so you know that there's a citation button over here. Okay, so you click on that, and it brings it up, and you scroll down. Oh, look, AMA citation. Okay, well, so some of you are going to be lazy. You're going to highlight this, copy it over. Okay, guess what? Do not do that. Okay, there's a couple of reasons why. The type of AMA citation that I want you using, the Georgia State Library does not support. Don't ask me why they don't support it, because I don't know. But you'll see they have the authors correct as far as how they list them, but then in the actual journal title, okay, you'll see every word is capitalized. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, so issue number 1, the journal title. Oops, excuse me. Okay, yeah, it's there, it's in italics, but it's not abbreviated. Problem number 2. Problem number 3. You have a full text of the article, so I don't need the serial online stuff. I also don't need the month. Okay. What I do need is the year, issue number, volume, issue, page numbers. Okay. So that's the only real correct portion of this. Okay. And then I don't need all of this availability stuff. Okay. You have a full text of it. It's in print. I don't need to know when you accessed it from the website. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. So basically, moral of the story, don't be lazy and just copy and paste something. Okay, I'm trying to teach you a skill. So if you do it longhand, you actually type it in portion by portion instead of copy and pasting everything. You're actually going to know how to cite things in the future. Okay, so you're actually going to learn that skill. So I highly recommend you do it longhand. Type in the author's name, find the information from the actual article. Okay, so if you flip back to the article, you know, all your information is here, or if you even wanted to go back to the original page here, you've got all of your info here as far as your year, volume, issue, and page numbers. Okay, so utilize your multiple areas to get all the information. Do not just copy and paste cite it. So, okay. So as far as the explanation of it, to get you through at least round 1, I've given you that here in this video. I can review specifics of round 2 and round 3 in class next week. And for round 4, you're just putting it all together on one page, and you're going to submit it on D2L. So the purposes of breaking down the rounds 1 through 3, you turn into me in a hard copy format. I give you some feedback on that. You can make some corrections before you turn in the finished product on D2L. Okay, so when you turn it in for round 4, it should be perfect. So there should be no reason you don't get full credit for it when you do round 4, because you know, I've given you adequate feedback to make those corrections. Okay. All right, so round 1 is going to be due on, because I didn't get all of this posted, I'm going to push back a couple of things. So Tuesday, June 21st. Okay, it's going to be due at the beginning of class, so 9:30, so you better not be late that day. So Tuesday, June 21st, sorry, at 8 a.m., sorry, summer semester, our class starts at 8 a.m. So Tuesday, June 21st at 8 a.m. And yes, it's got to be in a hard copy format. So if you do have any questions after watching this video before Tuesday, I will have access to my email, so shoot me an email if you need to. Do it on my actual GSU email. Don't do it on the D2L system. But again, this should not be a very difficult assignment. So that is all that I have for you guys. But again, email me if you have any questions.